lot of engineers are kind of like, you know, you can't do this with the music, and I'm like, well, have you tried it? And I think that's what I kind of brought to the table as far as I'm concerned, like, you know, knowing that I have an idea and executing the idea.
Listen to everything that you can. And you'll have your favorites, and some of it you'll go, oh my God, help me, please. I never want to hear that again, ever. That's fine too. But just push your boundaries, right? That's education. You don't have to go to a school to be educated. You just have to be willing to listen to everything that you can as a musician. Yeah.
The mixes aren't finished. Bjork wants to work with you to finish them. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not a mix engineer. And he said, no, you'll go and work with Bjork on finishing them. So that's what we did. So I had to learn Pro Tools basically overnight. Yeah, it was probably the most challenging experiences of at that point in my career, the most challenging. She pushes boundaries, and it's great. I'm lucky I work with a lot of artists that push me to push my boundaries.
僕にとってはまず限界っていう言語が頭にないので、本当に自分がやりたいようにやってるので、その人って本当は何だろうかとか、もちろん自分が何なんだろうかとか、そういうことを考え続けているので、だって自分に飽きたらおしまいですよね。
We as creative people, we see the world with kind of like a third eye. There's a third eye in which we see things. There's a kind of a different reach of which we kind of go after things. There's a different way in how we think about, you know, ideas. That has a lot to do with how you utilize your intuition. I think it just takes practice. Just practice. And the most important word of all time, for creative people, it takes a lot of failure.
Zufall ist auf jeden Fall einer meiner besten Begleiter in meiner Musik, im besten Sinne. Und zwar, dass man geht ran, ich bin, ob ich es will oder nicht, ich bin Konzeptkünstler und arbeite so. Also ich kann nicht ohne Idee oder Plan da reingehen, ich mache keine Sessions und nehme das auf. Fakt ist aber, dass in dem Moment, wo die Konzepte oder die Regeln, denen man sich unterwirft, sich sozusagen verlieren oder man sie vergisst im Studio, dann entsteht die eigentliche Magie. Es gibt immer was Drittes, etwas, was man nicht kapiert und nicht erklären kann in der Kunst, auf der Basis dessen, dass man gelernt hat, sehr genau zu wissen, was man tut, muss man dabei sagen. Und dann entsteht etwas. Und mein Umgang mit Samples hat mir dabei sehr geholfen. Das hat inspiriert, ja.
And one rule that never dominated the way we created music was the rule of notation. The 12 notes. A lot of the time we do pure noise, and in pure noise in oscillators that, you know, if you let 3, 4, 5 or whatever oscillators turn, at one point there will be a melody created. Only that can be the start of something new.
So you create the infinity up here first. Don't worry about, damn the grid that's on the computer, who gives a shit about the grid. You be in your infinite space up here and then create.
Someone playing on their laptop felt like insane. Like I was like, what? This is like, you can do this now. It's like, and people are doing it just like, you know, mouse pad. And I was like, okay, this is like legitimate. And I started to realize this is a legitimate tool, you know, and I felt like really stubbornly into it at that point when a lot of people were making like band recreations of their electronic compositions to, for me, create like almost a performative acceptance with an audience. I was really interested in like resolutely sticking with the computer as my instrument. And like, why not like play a keyboard and a mixer and this weird hybrid to create a sound field that is like, that has live components and is like, you know, improvisational, has risk, and is different each time.
There is another world out there that has not been explored. And that world isn't out there, that world is in here, that we have to find for ourselves. But it's not easy. It's a hard one to discover what you would do if you didn't have a black and white keyboard. It's like traveling in a new city without an iPhone.